joining us this morning. We are here to discuss a very important topic. I'm going to bring up a few speakers to address the issue of citywide adult literacy, a plan that you'll hear from mayoral candidate J Stan McCauley talk more about this morning. But before Stan comes to the mic, we have some community voices that we are also going to hear from this morning. So I want to bring up Gwyneth Douglas to say a few words on the topic of adult literacy.
Good morning, everyone. This is such a glorious and historical day, and I am so honored to be a part of it. And I have a few words that I would like to say before our elect mayor, pre-elect mayor, J Stan McCauley, comes forth. And it's on the literacy program. What I'd like to talk about is I agree totally on the decline and the hardships, the troubles that our city, our nation capital, faces on a daily basis, especially to people who are come to this country, who are from other places and do not understand the dialect, the language. There are language barriers. I am an educator. I'm an educator in the school system, retired, and I'm also an educator in also group homes and ministries. So we come together to partner with him. But what I wanted to say really quickly is that whatever we can do to stop this type, I call it a parasite, an educational reading literacy parasite. Why? Because as I did my research, I found out we have all these wonderful programs, so we say, that are building up. But if we don't build up this economy the way that we're supposed to, it's good to look nice on paper. But we all must join hands and pull it in just a little harder, just a little closer. For instance, starting from ages 4 to 12 years old, there are 5 or several different programs that they attest that work for Connecticut. You have the Reading in 100. You have the one that's called the Eggs reading program. You have so many different programs. They even have the ESL, which is English as a secondary language for children who coming from a country into ours. Why aren't these programs effective? Where is the breakdown? Now, we all know that it starts from in the home and out. But I heard when I was just a little girl at Arsenal School that it takes a village. I am a native of Connecticut, a native of Hartford, Connecticut. I attended the Arsenal School. And if it was being said back then that it takes a village, then we must, I stand with J Stan McCauley, I almost called him doctor. I stand with his wife because I don't split staff. I stand with his children. I stand here on the steps of City Hall to let everyone know and let the voice be heard. I am standing with McCauley. Why? Because one hand reaches one, catches one, love one. What we need now is just not love, sweet love, but we need real love. Real love for education and reading the right way. So let us put our foot, a pedal to the metal, and let's get this done. God bless you. I thank you, and have a great day.
Adult literacy is a root cause issue facing many adults in the city of Hartford. Adults that I would say have been failed twice. They've been failed first by the educational system and a lack of resources, but then they find themselves failed again in a city that doesn't support them adequately, to give them what they need in order to attain jobs, to participate in our democracy. So this is may not be a splashy campaign issue. Some may not find it to be the top issue, but it is a root cause issue. And oftentimes, it's referred to as a silent crisis because we don't want to speak to it. We don't want to address it in a way that political winds may change and come forward. But here's an issue that would impact so many lives in the city. It is an issue that Stan has heard, being so close and tethered to the voices of the community. It is an issue he has heard time and time again. So, without further ado, I want to bring Stan forward to address his citywide adult literacy plan.
All right, we're here today to talk about this growing crisis that has been here for some time. It's like under the current, if you will. And you hear people talk about economic development. You hear people talking about jobs in the community. But the fact of the matter is, depending upon the statistics, 41 to 61% of the citizens in Hartford, adults, men and women, are functionally illiterate. Now you may ask yourself, well, what does functionally illiterate mean? Well, think of it in terms of an ATM machine. That means that 61% of the adults in this city can't read an ATM machine. And I want you to understand the impact of that. It impacts parents when it comes to attending their children's schools and getting parent involvement. If the parents feel intimidated, which the schools too often intimidate parents that want to be actively engaged in their children's education, and they wonder why they can't get parents to come in and participate. But it goes even deeper than that. One of the things that really plagues the city of Hartford is the political apathy. Now think about this. If you can't read an ATM machine, you also can't read about your candidates. You can't read about their platforms. You can't read about their programs. You can't do the research. So you wind up hearing what people say, and it becomes a he said, she said, instead of being engaged and informed. So my administration wants to put forth effort to help bridge this gap, close what we're calling the literacy gap. We're making it our 6th priority in our path to impact. And when I talk about path to impact, I'm talking about how does the action impact the intended individual. You're talking about education, you're talking about giving teachers a raise. Well, how does that raise impact the student? We know there's a direct impact for the teacher and for the teacher's family, but what's the impact on the student? All too often our students are left behind. And when they're left behind, they wind up being, hopefully at the 3rd grade reading level. That's where they plan the future for prisons to be built. Well, we see the impact of a failed education system in the adults who attended that education system not being able to read. So this becomes very, very critical. So we are challenging the adults in this city that are English speakers to become functionally literate. Now, I'm one of those people that believe in leading by example. Now, I am functionally literate when it comes to English. I can read, I can write. But you know what I'm totally illiterate in? The dominant language of the city, Spanish. Now, we live in a city where the dominant language is Spanish, and the people that are running for office aren't fluent in that language. So I'm putting forth the challenge that I'm going to learn Spanish. I'm going to become conversationally literate in Spanish. I'm going to, in the next 4 years, learn how to speak the dominant language. So if I can learn a language I don't know, I know that our English-speaking people can become functionally literate in the language that is their primary language. All right? Hartford should be a dual language city. So we're calling this the Dual Language City Challenge. There are 76 different ethnic groups in this city. This is an international city. And it should be reflected by the languages that you have here and the cultural diversity that you have here. And so when we talk about economic development, understand that economic development can't happen until you have human development, and human development can't happen until you can read and write the primary language. And we can't have cultural diversity and understanding if we don't understand one another and respect the cultural differences that we have here in Hartford. So part of what we want to do in the McCauley administration is open up our schools, unlock those resources so that they are open after school. They should be open from sun up to sundown, from 8 to 8. Our schools should be open. They should become the primary community centers. Parks and recreation should be in every single school. And when school ends for the students, it should begin for the adults. And so we're going to be putting learning centers where adults can become functionally literate in this city. So that's the challenge. We're going to challenge you to go to our website, McCauleyforMayor.com. Click on the Path to Impact and find out all there is to know about our complete 6-point plan to realign Hartford's priorities, and more importantly, our 6th priority, which we're introducing today, to close the literacy gap in the city of Hartford.
We won't keep you long, but we do want to bring one other voice to you this morning. An honored elder, I would say, a community voice that has been challenging the systems, fighting for the people, and recognizing the gaps in the underserved. Cacique.
All right, family, peace. It's really good to be here today. I think it's, for me, it's a special day because what I would ask the people that are listening to us today is, when was the last time one of these politicians ever came to you with an issue with conscience? You can't recall that because they don't. So I'm happy that Stan has taken on this humongous task to bring, people right where they need to be, because as I understand it, the system a lot of times keeps us in that survival mode. And when you're in the surviving mode, you can't move to the next level, which is the thriving mode. When you're surviving, you can't thrive. So I think that Stan and Gwen said a lot of important things today. And one of the things that I would say is that if you can't read your children's report card. You can't help them with their homework. You can't read information about your health. So the reason that I asked that question in the beginning is because this is an issue that is plaguing our community, and you haven't heard anyone, including the superintendent, talk about literacy and what they're doing to bring it up, not just for our kids to bring them where they're supposed to be at, but for the adults in this city. So Stan, once again, brother, you hit the nail on the head. That is a super important issue that's going to change the way that we live. The way that people live is going to raise their access to different jobs, better jobs. You can get your license now. If you can't read, you can get your license. So it's a lot of things that literacy covers, and I want to thank you for that. And I hope that I just want to say one more thing. Stan's van is coming to Wyndham Street on Thursday at 6:30. It's for that neighborhood, but anybody in the city of Hartford is welcome to come. It's going to be on Wyndham Street, July 11th at 6:30, and all are welcome. Thank you so much. Peace.
Every bad political decision is made by a politician elected to office. So if you think your vote doesn't matter, just remember this. There are people sitting with politicians in a back room making deals about your future, making policies about your children, making decisions about your neighborhood. To them, you are just a vote. You are not their cause. You are just a vote. Elections have consequences, and if you don't vote, you are actually voting to keep these people in power to work against you. Now more than ever, you need to make your vote count. It's time to clear the air and vote for a mayor that is unbought, unbossed, trusted, and accountable to you, the constituent. My name is J Stan McCauley, and I am an independent thinker, and I approve this message. I'm asking you for your vote on Tuesday, September the 12th, 2023, in the Democratic Party primary election for mayor of the city of Hartford. For more information, visit McCauleyformayor.com. Have the courage to vote your conscience and vote for the name you trust and know. Vote J Stan McCauley for mayor.
All right, so Wyndham Street, July the 13th. The mobile campaign office will be at Wyndham Street. 12 Wyndham Street. And also, if you're not doing anything, you want to join us for our virtual town hall. That'll be this Friday at 6 o'clock. There it is. This Friday at 6 o'clock. It's a virtual town hall. You can check out our website for more information. Thank you very much for joining us.